Hi everyone, I welcome all the divine souls on my YouTube channel, which is Twinflame Realities. So the topic of the today's video is why does spiritual awakening happen and what you are supposed to do after that once you have gone through spiritual awakening. So I actually had a realization about this question because as I have been in divine communication since very long time, since my childhood, and the reason behind having this question because I was given a lot of sacred knowledge, sacred wisdom, and a lot of hidden truths were revealed to me about humanity and then about spirit world, I can say. So then I was actually questioning, like, why are you sharing this information now? Because I have been in communication with divine, that too since childhood. So this information, if you're sharing now, so is there any particular reason? So I went through spiritual awakening in March 2020, and immediately after my awakening I noticed that I started seeing a lot of angel numbers, like mirroring numbers, and then 333, 222, almost every angel number I was seeing back to back. So that was immediately I noticed after my awakening. But then there was another thing happening, that divine started sharing sacred wisdom with me, that too back to back. So I had to make notes of all those things because I never heard about it before my awakening, wherein I have been in communication with divine. So I never heard about all those things, which whatever information divine was sharing. So I said, like, slow it bit so that I can note it down, and then I do not want to miss anything about this. So what I started doing when divine was sharing those sacred wisdom with me, so I used to Google it. I used to do research about that particular topic, what it is, and I was trying to get into deep knowledge about that particular topic. So what I realized that I am not the only one who has gone through spiritual awakening. There are a lot of people who have gone through same sort of spiritual awakening, and same kind of spiritual wisdom was shared with them by the divine. So that was one of my realization. So as I can see through people, and I can see through situations also. So what I found, there were people who were genuinely went through spiritual awakening, and they actually shared their experience and a lot of information about that sacred wisdom on internet. But then there were few people who were actually just copy pasting the information from a genuine person and pretending to be a spiritual person, or sort of people who claim to be a spiritual gurus. So you will also find such people in every industry, in every area now, be it on social media or in any platform, that lot of spiritual gurus you see. I have noticed there are a lot of people who are acting as spiritual coaches. It's not their own wisdom. They have been observing, listening to some real good genuine people, genuine spiritual practitioners, and then they start copying. There are some people who are smart at that. So when they start sharing the information which was being copy pasted, there are only few people who can recognize this truth. So I was able to recognize that the genuine person who shared that information and the one who copy pasted. So I guess I have already shared this information. Who goes through spiritual awakening? A person who has a good character, who has good intention, and who has good karma. If a person has these three things, then only that person will go through spiritual awakening, not some sort of characterless person or shit kind of a person. So if you know somebody who doesn't have these three characteristics, who are opposite of this, and they are telling you that they have gone through spiritual awakening, you please do not believe that. And also, it's not just only twin flames who go through spiritual awakening. There are a lot of other beings on planet who are empaths, star seeds, chosen ones, light workers, and earth angels. And there are also normal humans who do go through spiritual awakening, and it depends. The reason that either they were supposed to go through that, they maybe they are people who have already ascended at some level in spirituality. So it's not necessary that only chosen ones or twin flames go through spiritual awakening, but always remember the three categories, three characteristics I have told you. It will always be there in those people, whether they have chosen one or they are twin flame or a normal human being who has gone through spiritual awakening. Remember, that is a good character, good karma, and good intention. So now it's not necessary that every good person will go through spiritual awakening. So one example and one realization from my own, personal life, that there is a person I know that has a good character, good karma, and good intention, but that person is at zero level in terms of spirituality, a normal human being. So remember, it's not necessary that every good human being will go through spiritual awakening. They are only particular reasons. I have also shared a previous video on angel numbers. It's not necessary only twin flames get to see those angel numbers. There are particular categories of people who get to experience such, visibility of the angel numbers. So you must listen that video. There are guidance also. So as I went through spiritual awakening, immediately I was experiencing a lot of things because of which I was super excited, super happy. So it was not just seeing angel numbers or receiving those spiritual downloads, sacred wisdom through divine. There were a lot of other things were happening. So I was so happy. That was the most magical period or time of my life, that awakening time. And then I actually asked to divine that what to do with this information. Why are you sharing this information now? I have been in direct divine communication, that too since my childhood. So what is the reason behind sharing this information with me? So I heard through a spirit guide, not through divine, that it is given to you through for doing your healing. So I said, healing for what? Now I was actually remembering that I am a person since my childhood. I never had any problem in forgiving other people. So this one thing I saw in other people, that in other humans, that they had a lot of problem in forgiving others, but I was opposite of this. And many times I was reminded by divine that you cannot forgive these people, these wrong, evil people, again and again, which I was actually repeating. Because see, those people were placed on my path for a reason, and divine has been giving one particular reminder that I have to punish wrong people. And I was like, no, I do not want to punish anybody. So I kept on forgiving, I kept on ignoring, let them go, let's forget about it. So I was a person who cannot hold grudges, because if you're holding grudges, you are just disturbing your own energies. So it was so easy for me to forgive anyone. Many times I found that other humans were not ready to forgive them, divine was not ready to forgive them, but I was definitely okay to forgive them. So this was a constant reminder that you cannot forgive. So I realized I never had any problem in forgiving other people, and that was one reason that my inner child remained active and super active. Another thing, I told to divine that what to do in healing and why to do that. I don't think so I need it, because I never had any problem in forgiving people, and then I have always been taking right decisions. I never made mistake in when it comes about taking decision either for myself or for others. So there was no problem with that. Then this was another thing. So I kept on asking these questions and telling them these replies, that as why do people do healing. Then they remained quiet, and I was questioning, and I'm excellent at that. When divine or spirit guide is trying to tell me something, I would definitely look into that. I would not ignore that information, or you just said and I am excellent at that, so I should not do this. No, it was never a case. Then I realized one particular incident which happened in 2011 when I met that karmic twin flame in airline. So there it was a cab incident which I have already shared. So whatever I have gone through since my childhood, wherein I never punished anybody, but then definitely have gone through. So because of those things, when these four boys started messing up with that cab driver, they were torturing that cab driver who was younger than his age, I believe, and then they also slapped that guy. So there I got a panic attack, and that I that's what I realized after my awakening. No, I got that panic attack because I've gone through a lot since my childhood, and those were the things what I had to heal. So from that particular incident, I realized that whatsoever you go through since your childhood, and see those incidents and memories, you are definitely storing it in your energetic field. So maybe you are good at forgiving others, but then those energies are actually stuck in your energetic system, and that has to be healed and released. So that was one realization. Another thing I noticed, that I definitely have to do work on working on anger issues. Now I was questioning, do I really have anger issues? So whosoever knows me, whether inside my family or outside my family, especially in office colleagues or co-workers, so they all know me that I'm an angry bird. I do not spare people. I get angry and upset easily. That was a constant a statement what I kept on hearing. So it was me who went on that particular journey. I myself created that particular image of mine, that I actually want to be seen as an angry bird, or that's how I am, or I am a rude person, so that people stay away from me. Because I found that whenever a guy got a chance to talk to me, they were proposing for marriage. I said, how could you dare to do that? I don't have anything in you, and talking to you is the way you think that am I really available for this? So I didn't wanted a masculine to have a feeling for me unnecessary. When I'm not interested, I'm not available. So that was sort of a defense mechanism. But then I also realized, okay, so now the situation was what I was observing. Do I really have anger issues? So no, I was so clear that I don't have any anger issues. It's just that when I met wrong people, when they backstab you, when I get to hear that, or maybe in my surroundings, when somebody toxic, when group of toxic people were bothering a innocent person, or maybe a person who has not done anything, because that person is powerless. And in that situation, I was not able to hold myself back. I always get into that thing and try to save that person, try to take a stand for that person, and then all that group had to back out just because of me. So there I actually became famous, that she's an angry bird. So they were not ready to accept their truth, that they are toxic shittiest people. And when somebody like me take a stand for those people who are weak, they start calling me angry bird. So they wanted me to step back, and also not to raise my voice, neither for myself nor for others. So that's how toxic people are. They cannot fight alone. They had to be in group so that they feel powerful, because they don't have any power in genuine. So when toxic person or group of toxic people are bothering somebody and humiliating somebody, then they actually expect that person to accept that shit behavior from them silently. They should not raise their voice. And I was opposite of it. I was not just taking stand for myself, but also taking stand for others. So when they were not able to fight back with me, they started creating this image in front of others, that she is very angry person, you should stay away from her. So that I kept on hearing from other colleagues in my office, that whenever there was a new joinee, they were just telling them that you should not you should be very careful while talking to this female, because she's an angry bird, and she doesn't spare people. So I was completely okay with that, because that's how I was enjoying my life, that people stay away from me, especially shittiest people. So I was just noticing, whenever I was going through a lot during since my childhood, and so there I never got any panic attack. Yes, I've gone through emotional turbulence a lot, like even I was experiencing low BP because of those stressful situations. But then when I started staying alone, this was for the first time I got panic attack, that too when a situation was happening with somebody else. So there I realized, no, I really have to do my healing. There are situations or things stored into my energetic system which I have to release. But then there was another realization, that this anger now has to be in a correct manner. So whatever you go through in your life, since your childhood, and whatever you are experiencing into your surroundings, that is the reason it is being always asked, be careful of what you are watching, what you are listening, what you are hearing. And a lot of things you have to take care about your energetic field. So whatever you are listening, whatever you are hearing, it is all getting stored in your energetic system. Then you have to heal it. So what I have seen, I do not watch TV till date, but what I kept on hearing from people, that they are watching some sort of shit show which is all about fighting and abusing, and they enjoy that. So they are not realizing it, but then one day they will start experiencing all those energies in terms of stress. All of a sudden they have a stress. So these energies are actually getting restored in your system, energetic system, and then it will come out either in terms of a health issue, or maybe stress, or maybe some other issue you can start facing in terms of your physical health or mental health. So as I started observing that kind of energies I had to release, so one more realization: when you are talking to somebody, I am an empath, I realized it immediately after my awakening. So whenever you are talking to somebody, they form an energetic bond with you. So even though if you have disconnected from that person physically, you're not talking to them through phone or maybe through not connected on social media, but they still have a connection with your energetic field, energy system that has to be released. And lot of steps are being followed on that. It's not like you just do a cord cutting and then you're done with that. No, there are a lot of things which you have to follow. Another thing I started noticing after my awakening, that whatsoever people were talking about me, even though there were people who were gossiping or talking shit about me, I kept on hearing all those exactly word to word. So that was so disturbing for me, because I was experiencing a lot of things. And then after my awakening, divine actually activated a lot of powers which I was actually not able to handle it. So I had to request, please close this, tape recorder, which I kept on hearing from those people. So they were gossiping because I was working. It was a COVID time and I did not lose my job. So they were unhappy and they were praying, how come this is happening with me? So I realized, like, the energies I hold in my energetic system, whatever I've experienced, either from my personal life or into my professional life, into my surroundings, all I had to release. And then people I met in that 10 years of painful journey, all of them, most of them were, toxic, evil, dirty people. So they had a connection with me, wherein, so I realized, like, whatever people I met, I gave a commitment to divine before going on that journey, that, once this journey is completed, 10 years are completed, I will remove all of these people. That was a commitment. So divine actually asked me to start removing these people. And then now it was not possible that I will just take a decision and I will remove them, because they were staying, they were part of my life since 10 years. So I needed some sort of a reason to remove them from my life. And they all were toxic, manipulative, selfish people. So divine actually started helping me, started creating such events wherein I started getting chances to remove them one after another. So divine actually activated a lot of powers after my awakening, so that I realized what all I had to take control, and I had to learn how to deal with my own powers. One more thing I realized, that when somebody was talking shit about me, I was getting angry and upset. So if that person is sitting in other state or other city and other country and talking negative about me, I was getting angry because I could hear that. So it was not just me, it was my spirit guides and other powers also. So I had to learn how to put an end to all those situations. It was a realization these things will keep on continuing, because there were a lot of things which were hidden about my personal life from everybody, I can say, not just few people. And I kept it hidden on purpose, because they only knew 1% about me and they were not able to digest it. So I was like, whatever they get to know everything about my personal life, whatever I have, how would they handle it? They're talking shit about me, and how would they handle it, because I have a lot of things. So I also learned this thing during while doing this inner work, that when somebody is gossiping about you, and I have nothing to do with them, I have not done anything against anybody, they are just haters, jealous people, and they cannot see me growing and they cannot see me happy. So they cannot do anything, they cannot do any damage, because they tried their level best by making people against me and by using black magic. That was their limit. And then I started punishing them spiritually. If you start gossiping, you're gonna punish. And I learned all these things during doing this inner work only. So one thing I also learned and realized, that when you disconnect from someone in physical world, they, especially toxic people, energy vampires, narcissistic people, they try to find one after another ways to stay connected to your energetic system, because they need energy from a person like me. I am an empath and my energies are positive, and it is like in oxygen for them. They cannot survive without this. So there I realize the ways and areas they are able to connect through my energetic system. So a lot of things I learned, that what all things were supposed to be healed and how to put an energetic block on these people. So when it comes about releasing energy of a person or a particular situation which exists in terms of memories or maybe painful memory which you don't like to remember, so there are several steps and several levels. And again, same thing happens, with when it comes about putting in energetic blocks. There are certain rules and regulations which you have to follow if you genuinely wants to disconnect from someone on an energetic level. It is not just about doing a cord. So when it comes about putting an energetic block, that too with a particular person or maybe with the entity, a negative entity, so then you will have to follow certain rules and regulations. So it is not just about doing a cord cutting, that is something incorrect or incomplete information what people have. See, a proper healing requires proper information. One more realization, that as there were a lot of changes within me, just before awakening, because of my that friend's incident what has happened. So before this I was not ready to punish anyone, but then since this event has happened in my life, I was not ready to spare anyone. And immediately after my awakening, divine actually started giving me that same reminder that you have to punish people. But then there was another issue what I was facing, the attacks from this other world or the dark entities. And if I was becoming angry, they were actually getting access to my physical body and the energetic body, which I did not want to give. And I was like, if this thing kept on happening, I would not be able to do my healing. So I realized there were a lot of things what I had to heal, release, put an end, put a block. So if somebody tells you that you have to heal anger issues within yourself, first you have to question, understand. When what was my situation, I never had any anger issue. It's just that toxic people were doing shit to other people, and they cannot they could never mess up with me directly. So they were just doing either back bitching, backstabbing, or some other thing, and those things were I was aware about. So it was definitely making me angry and upset. Now I was actually giving them reply immediately, which I think they were just expecting, and their concern was that they just wanted to make me angry. So there I realized that this should not happen. I'm aware that nobody can provoke me. So there I actually learned a lesson after my awakening. Whenever any situations happens, the similar situation when toxic people are trying to make you angry by either saying something to you or creating some sort of drama, so what do you have to do? Either you have to respond there, you have to react, or you have to step back. So it was a time for my healing. And if I kept on becoming angry, which I was actually facing a lot of anger that time, because of lot of things whatsoever was happening with me or around me because of my awakening. And I was still not calm from that particular incident of my friend. So I made changes into this, because before this I kept on responding to people. It was not a reaction, because reaction cannot happen from me. It has always been a respond. But then I remember that divine has always been telling me to use manipulation to those people who are manipulative, and I was not ready for that. So I made changes. Let's not respond them. Let me show them what manipulation is. So if I start playing, I start using manipulation, these manipulators can never identify such thing. It will take years and years to understand that they were manipulated through me. So I did not want to use that thing. That was a choice. But then I made changes after my awakening. I said, let me deal with them and teach them their and show them their place in their own way. Another thing, immediately I realized, like when I was going to sleep, going to bed, then I started experiencing one particular thing, that there are several people who are part of my immediate family. And when I am sleeping, either I am into different realm, there they are fighting with me. And when I am awake after my sleep, then I feel that my body is drained, not feeling well, and I'm feeling so tired. So in my life there was nobody who I had to forgive. I had no problem in forgiving anybody, but then I still had to do lot of things when it comes about doing an energy healing work, and then a lot of things to protect my energies. So there I realized that as I was told by spirit guide to do my healing, and that is the reason that sacred wisdom was shared with me. So whatsoever techniques I have used to heal my own energy, and whatsoever process I have followed for my inner work, it was all divinely guided. I have no bookish knowledge. I cannot read books. I definitely love collecting books, but I cannot read it. I feel it boring. So even though if I have several books which I must have read only 1 or 2 pages, not more than that. So whatever information I'll be sharing in upcoming videos for the healing purpose, it was all divinely guided, and all are easiest process. Anybody can follow and do their healing on their own. They do not need any outside help for that. So since my childhood, I knew that I do not have any anger issue, but then there is one particular side which is actually extremely dangerous, that is related to my power, and I never wanted that power to come out or and to be used on anybody. Otherwise there will be a lot of damages done on the planet. So this I actually experienced after the event of my that friend's incident, wherein I told to divine, either you start punishing humanity or I start punishing. But then after my awakening, I realized that I was becoming rude with divine several times. I said you have taken the control back from my that power, and I'm unable to hold on to that, and this is not good that I'm becoming rude with you. So divine said we have been telling you since your childhood that you have to punish people, you don't have to forgive them, those wrong people, but you never listen to us. And they were absolutely right. So I said, as you wish, if you want me to stay this way on earth, I don't have any problem. If damage happens, I am not responsible for that. So divine said go ahead with this, and I realized I have to live with this power now, and I have no way to control this. That was the reason that I started becoming, I started isolating myself during my inner work, because I was experiencing a lot of powers activation. So if there was somebody who was toxic, they had to face a lot of issues in their life if I start becoming rude with them. So inner healing, inner work is not a thing which can be done or completed within a month time or within an year time. It depends. So if you have been listening to my story, I have been strong since my childhood. When it comes about mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Even I started becoming strong financially at very young age, because I knew that is a power. So I had to take a control back in my life. So but then when I look at other twin flames, they have not been like this. They have been operating from 3D matrix, wherein I have never been part of 3D matrix, never ever operated from that particular area. So if I was able to complete my inner work within 3.5 years, you might have to take a lot of time, but still it is completely okay. At least you have started doing that, and you will definitely complete your healing in whichever time you take, and completely okay for that. So do not be in a hurry when it comes about doing energy work. It is a time taking process, and even it is not, if I'm able to tell you entire inner work as soon as possible for me, you will not be able to do it, because when you start doing energy healing work, there will be a lot of challenges thrown on your path through divine itself, and then you will realize, yeah, what I was trying to tell you, that it is actually not easy. It is a challenging work. So one thing I realized, that if a person has gone through spiritual awakening, they definitely have a trauma to heal, and a lot of issues they have to heal within themselves, and that is the reason that they have gone through spiritual awakening. So I required a lot of healing when it comes about energy healing, and then again it is about learning your karmic lessons, also setting boundaries, wherein I have had boundaries since my childhood, but then still there were a lot of things what I had to change and correct. So it is about, if you have gone through spiritual awakening, it is indication that you have to start doing your healing. Now understand, I have seen a lot of people, especially twin flames, when they get to know about that they are in this connection after when they have gone through spiritual awakening, they are just being distracted from doing their own inner healing. They start focusing on that karmic twin flame rather than doing their healing. They're even investing and draining their energy on that karmic twin flame. So I was opposite of this. I started doing my healing, and I was just looking that how to detach from this karmic twin flame. That time I was not aware that he's a karmic twin flame, but I was like, he's a toxic person, and I would not let him have access to my life or to my energy. So the main thing you have to start focusing after spiritual awakening, start doing your own inner work, inner healing. That's it. It has no other meaning. So I hope the message is clear that the spiritual awakening happens so that you start healing your issues, whatever issues you have, and start breaking toxic patterns and toxic cycles so that you start living a good, abundant, healthy and wealthy life on earth. So this was about today's video. I will see you in another video. Till then, take good care of yourself. Bye bye.